and welcome to Theatrical Day. Welcome to drama class pre-recorded by me for you to watch with your class whenever you want. Yay! All right, remember today again we have virtual students watching at home and we have in-person students watching with their class. So thank you for tuning in for drama today. I appreciate it. Teachers, thanks so much. So let's do our warm-ups and then we've got a lot of work to do. So let's get going. Stand up, push a chair under, and let's go. Shake out your right arm. Shake out your left arm. Shake out your both arms. Shake out your right knee. Shake out your left knee. Shake out your both knees. Feet together. Reach, reach, stretch, yawn. Oh my goodness. There we are. All right. When I say ha, 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 you say ha, ha, ha. When I say you say When I say you say When I say what's that? You say what's that? When I say ho, 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 you say ho, 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 ho. When I say jump, jump, spin, you say jump, jump, spin. Whoa. When I say stop, you say stop. All right, I'll stop here. So today we are gonna do something a little bit different and I need to head to my computer. So teachers, pass out that white sheet of paper and I'll meet you back at my desk. All right, let's go. All right, welcome back. So I am at my desk. I have my paper, my handout, and I'm ready to go. So whatever you have to write on, if you are a virtual student, you can download this or you can just follow along on a piece of paper. There's nothing super fancy about my worksheet at all. You can totally participate from home. All right, so students, we are going to be working on the Extraordinaires Design Studio. This is something I'm really excited to do. The Extraordinaires Design Studio is this awesome inquiry design resource that I've had in the drama room for a few years. It's actually designed for high school students, but I know that you guys can do this because it's super fun and you're so creative that I know that you can do it because I've done it with 4th and 5th graders and now I get to do it with everyone. All right. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be designing a costume, a prop, which is something you hold in your hands, or a setting, something about where someone is. And we're going to be designing this for someone else. And someone who designs for someone else, that someone else is called a client. So we're going to have a client and we're going to be designing something for them to make their life easier and better. Okay. So I wanted to kickstart this off with a question. And my question is, if someone followed you around for a week, what 3 things would they say that you would need to make your life easier? What do you think? Now, I went to Mr. Garrity and asked him this same question. Let's see what he said.
If someone followed me around for a week, they would notice 3 things. Number 1, it takes me a while to make my breakfast in the morning, and I want my breakfast ready when I wake up. So they make coffee machines that can be set up the night before to make your coffee for you in the morning. I want that for breakfast. Number 2, also food related, I am always ready for a snack. And when I walk around our school, I notice that a lot of people are always ready for a snack. So I want to have an automatic snack dispenser with me at all times that only weighs around 3 pounds. How do you do that? And number 3, you'll notice that when I walk around Claxton, I've got a lot of things with me. I've got a Chromebook, I've got my cell phone, I've got a radio, I've got a clipboard with some papers on it. What I would like is I would like to have one device that changes size and enables me to have like a keyboard when I need it, but really packs down to just a phone. Wouldn't that be cool?
All right, Mr. Garrity, what does it take to truly understand what other people need to make their lives better?
To understand what other people need to make their lives better, it takes this like big thing, which is to be aware of other people. So you can do that through observation, you can do that through empathy, how you understand other people's feelings. You can do that also by listening. I spend a lot of my day listening to other people to understand what would make their lives better here at Claxton, and then trying to do things to support them.
Thank you, Mr. Garrity. Wow. You're right. Empathy and seeking first to understand before being understood. These are the skills that we need in order to design and create for other people. Designing and creating for you is easy, but you really have to put yourself in someone else's shoes and imagine what would make their life better. So let me introduce you to our client today. It is not Mr. Garrity and it's not me, Miss Rigsby. It is kind of a silly character. Let me show you. So this is our client. This is the person that we are going to be designing for today. This is a giant, all right? And this giant, for me, comes in this little card, but I took pictures of it so we can all see it nice and clear. Now, this giant has 4 pictures. And this picture right here on the left side is the main scene. That's going to tell you about the clothing, physical characteristics, how the giant looks, and a typical setting or place that the giant would be. The scene over here on the right is the supporting scene. It tells us about the giant's life behind the scenes that we don't normally get to see, how they feel, their emotions. And then we have down here a surprising scene. So this is the giant's job or hobby. And then this little picture in the corner is our detail scene. So it's an item of importance or materials that are important to the giant. So my designer, that's you. I'd like for you to meet your client, your giant that you are designing for today. So on your handout, on this top section, you're going to see like a web. And in the middle of it, I want you to write giant. It says my extraordinaire is a giant. Giant. Awesome. And then it's asking you 4 questions. It's asking you to draw or write. What looks do you see? What do you know about the giant just from looking at them? What do they look like? It's going to ask you about the job of the giant. Is there a picture that clues you into how they make money and what they do? It's going to ask you to think about what they like. By looking closely at these pictures, what do they like? And it's going to ask you about the setting. So look in the background of where the giant is. What do you notice? What can you learn from it? Now you can use words, you can use pictures, whatever you want. But on our handout, we are only working in this top portion. Ignore this for right now, okay? So job, looks, setting, and lights, all right? I'm going to start a 2-minute timer. And I'm going to have this play for 2 minutes so you can look closely at the screen and you can draw and write on your paper. And then in 2 minutes, I'm going to give you some more information. All right, let's get started. right, so our 2 minutes is up, and I was working on my paper, and I'm not quite done, and you might not either, and that's okay. So let me take a look, show you what I came up with. So I was looking at looks first, and I noticed that she's very tall, so I drew an arrow, and her dress and those like blue flags kind of look like a circus tent. So I'm wondering if she turned a circus tent into clothing. And she has really big feet. It looks like she might have shoes made out of boats. I thought that was really cool. For the setting, I noticed that she's in a cave or something. It looks really dark wherever she is living. And then for job, it looks like she's blowing on one of those windmills for like wind energy. So that's pretty cool. It looks, and she's wearing like a vest, and the vest has the same symbol as the building. So I do think that's her job. And then lights. So the little detail picture, she's holding, they look like lampposts, right? And it looks like she's knitting with chain. So maybe she likes knitting with really large objects. I don't know. And then when I'm looking in that main picture, I didn't even write this down, but is she helping the skiers get to the top of the hill? Is she like the ski lift? That's really cool. All right. Now, my extraordinaire set comes with a helpful little book, and that book has some extra information. So I want you to listen to this information, and as you're listening, add things to your chart. Okay? If something sticks out at you that you think is going to be important or interesting, draw or write it down. Okay? All right. The giant is an extraordinaire because of her immense size. The giant is extremely tall. She upcycles things from our world for her unique needs. Here she wears a circus tent dress and a ship's anchor as a necklace. I was right about the circus tent. And look, she does. That's a ship's anchor. That's so cool. She uses her size to do things that would be difficult for a regular-sized human. She helps by lifting children up to the top of a ski slope, carrying them carefully in her hands. Some who don't know her are startled by her size. Oh, yeah, if you look closely, some of those people do look a little nervous. The giant is so tall that the birds perch on her shoulder mid-journey. Oh, wow, there are birds on her back. That's so cool. All right, now when we look at this little picture on the side, it says, the giant makes her home from found spaces. She furnishes her cave with repurposed objects from the world of human-sized people. Her gentle nature draws animals to her, and she has a pet elk. Oh my goodness, that's what that is on the ground? It looks like she's feeding it a whole tree. Oh my goodness, and I see a lighthouse in the corner. I thought those were lanterns. They're not lanterns, are they? They're oh, the word just escaped. Hot air balloons. They're hot air balloons upside down. So cool. Oh wow, so many details. Her size is valued at the power plant down here, where she blows the wind turbines on still days. Oh, instead of a windmill, it's a wind turbine. She likes to make things in inventive ways with repurposed materials. So I think I was right. I think she's knitting with lampposts and chain. Wow, that's so cool. All right. So some other things that you need to know about our giant. She's really tall with long arms and legs, and objects from our world would appear really tiny to her. So you have to keep that in mind if you're designing something for her. She repurposes large human objects, upcycling them to serve her own needs. She has to have clothes and shoes made especially for her. Her large hands and fingers can make it harder for her to do small tasks. The giant's height and strength may be a danger to people. She has to be careful not to drop anything, and she must be aware of what is below her when she is walking. She must be careful of flying objects. I didn't even think of that. She could get hit by a plane. Her size can be a great help to humans, but in return, they can help her make and find the things she needs. What other objects from the human world would be useful to the giant, and how might she use them? How could the animals in the mountains help her? How can the giant and the human-sized people have fun together? And how can the power company pay the giant? How else might they work together? And what other jobs might her size make her useful for? Oh man, I feel like I really got to know this character, this extraordinary character. All right, so now we're going to talk design. So this is how we are really applying this to drama. So in drama and theater, you know that there are designers who design the lights and the costumes and the set and the makeup and the props, the music, and all the beautiful things that go into making a performance. So we are practicing our design skills, but instead of thinking about a play or a musical or a story that we're designing for, we're going a little simpler and we're designing for this giant, okay? So when you're designing, we are going to keep it theater, and we're going to design props, a setting, or clothing. So on your worksheet, you have this chart on your paper. So under props, you could design the giant a music player or a communications device like a computer or a phone, like a specialty one, or maybe a special cooking utensil or a toy or some sort of remote control to something in the giant's life. I don't know, but you'd probably have to use found objects because that goes with this character. Or you could go with a setting, maybe design a sports venue specific for this giant, or a new home, or a hideout, or a place to learn, or maybe even like a vehicle. Oh, a vehicle. What would a giant even use as a vehicle? As a car, a boat, a plane? Oh, that's pretty cool. And then your last one is clothing. Could you design a special outfit for your giant or pajamas or some sort of protective clothing? Maybe a special kind of clothing that they would wear to work or to protect them from any harm that they would do to themselves or do to someone else. What about headwear? Something they put on their head, or footwear, something they put on their feet. So you get to choose prop, setting, or clothing. Circle it on your paper and start designing specifically for this character, for this giant, right? In theater, all of our designs have to make sense for the play. And in life, when you're designing and someone's paying you and hiring you to design, your design has to be what they want. So remember to have empathy, like Mr. Garrity was talking about. Think about what they would like, not what you would like. What would they like? You're going to use the back of your paper to put your design on it. Oh, don't use Sharpie like I did. So flip your paper over and start sketching out your design. This is a picture that I found of someone else's design for an evil genius card. But again, you're not doing the evil genius. You're doing the giant today. But I want you to notice how they drew pictures. They used words to label and point out details. They showed things open or closed and how the giant specifically is going to use them. So I'll leave this up and I'm going to set a 3-minute timer. So I want you to just spend 3 minutes jotting your ideas down and picking, and then we're going to check back in. I'm going to give you a couple more things to think about. So 3 minutes, here you go. Sorry, I know that 3 minutes was short, but I want to make sure that we introduce all the steps, and then you'll have more time at the end. So the next step in the design process, step 1 was research. We learned all about our client. Step 2 was design. And now we're at step 3. We want to improve our design. So I want to talk to you about how do we change something that was perfect? So maybe you just designed something that you think is perfect. The giant would love it. That's awesome. You and all the other inventors in history have a successful invention. Congratulations. But why would we change something that was perfect? So take a look at these pictures. These are perfect designs. So we've got glasses, an automobile, we have some farmers and people making a road. You can see some clothing and cell phones and music players. Did these change or were they invented and kept perfect? And how did that change help people? Think about it for a second. We change things because our needs change, right? Look at those glasses. I don't think I could be wearing those glasses now, right? These glasses that I'm wearing here are specifically designed with my prescription. They filter out the blue light that comes off of computer devices and screens. And if I go outside, they turn into sunglasses. Isn't that amazing? I'm not making it up. So I couldn't have these if we thought that design was perfect. My van definitely doesn't look like that vehicle, and my phone does not look like that one. So these changes help people. So 4 things I want to talk about. Adapt. Designers can adapt a design. They can change its size, shape, color, or material to suit different purposes or environments. So think about your design. Could it adapt or change? Designs can also become automated, making something in part or in total able to operate without human effort. Think about like farming equipment. We used to use horses to pull plows, and now we have amazing farming equipment that we put gasoline in and drive. So we've got a lot of automation happening. Then you have integration, combining different things into one. My phone is also my camera. I don't own another camera. I take all my pictures on my phone. I used to have a digital camera and it was amazing, but designers integrated my camera with my phone, and now I have a camera phone, and I wouldn't want it back like I used to. You can also make something more sustainable. This is creating something so it won't harm the environment. We've had cars for a long time, but how those engines burned fuels creates gases in the air, and it's really harmful for our environment. So once we have something invented, then we can make it more sustainable. We can make it use recyclable materials or have less impact to animals and plants and our environment. So let's go back to Mr. Garrity. Hey, Mr. Garrity, have you ever improved something that you designed?
Yes. All right, y'all, check this out. So, you know how we have our Claxton chicken coop? We have chickens at home too. We have 7 hens. And in order for us to really have 7 hens and take care of them and do all the things to support them, they needed food, they needed water, and they needed to be able to go into their coop at night and have the door closed so they could be safe. So what did we do? In order to really make that easy for ourselves, we automated all 3 of those processes. We have a rain barrel that automatically collects water automatically when it rains and then provides water to the hens with a couple of ways that they can get water from the rain barrel. We have a food dispenser that has a big canister that holds food, and then it uses gravity to actually fill the place where the hens eat, and we refill that every week. And then the last thing is we found an automatic chicken coop door that closes when the sun goes down at night, and the hens automatically, they like instinctually go back into their coop. And so it closes after they go in. It's the best thing. So we don't have to either go out at like 9 o'clock and close it or go out at like 6 o'clock in the morning to open it. It does it automatically.
Well done. Oh, thank you, Mr. Garrity. That was so cool. I wish I could see the chicken coop in your backyard. I bet your chickens are really happy. All right, so students, we're going to use the rest of your drama time, whatever is left over, and teachers, as long as you want to continue this, to innovate and change and adapt and make sustainable these designs that you've come up with. Really take some time to make them perfect, okay? And then the last step, once you've done that, is to present them. Do you have a document camera in your classroom? Could you show your design to the class? If you're a virtual student, could you present and share a picture of your class or hold it up to a camera? If you have great ideas, you want to share them with other people, because be proud of the work that you did. And also, you sharing your design could inspire someone else to come up with the next great invention also. Thank you so much for giving this a try. And teachers, if you like it, I have a lot more of these, so let me know. All right, have fun.